You heard the glass break. You hear that sound? It means it's time to welcome to the show our friend Austin Price from Volquest.com. He joins us each week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, thank you for the time. As always, 10 weeks ago, if I had told you Tennessee will be number one in the country playing at number 3 Georgia, your reaction would have been what?
That's a weird reaction.
I don't think I can say it on the radio. I mean, when you close your eyes and you just say out loud, Tennessee could potentially, after this weekend, say they have beaten Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU in the same season. Just when you close your eyes and say it, it's kind of like, what world are we living in? As a buddy of mine texts me, he's like, I've just been so caught up in the football season. I feel like I'm in this alternate dimension. And I think, Tennessee fans have kind of, they've wandered around in the wilderness for 15 years, and there have been a couple of moments where you saw the light from the outside of the wilderness, and then it evaporates. And this sure feels like it is more sustaining. No matter what happens Saturday, Tennessee's playing with house money guys. I don't see them losing any of the last three, because I don't think any of those teams can score enough to beat Tennessee. So you're looking at 11-1 at worst. And I mean, what a phenomenal year, and just a great group of kids. And I think Tennessee can really, has a really good shot Saturday. And Georgia's really, really good. They're really good. But they're not what they were a year ago. They're not as good at wide receiver because A.D. Mitchell's out. They've obviously lost Nolan Smith this week. But last year's Georgia defense was a generational defense. I mean, like 5 first-round picks, 7 drafted off the defense overall. I mean, they were unbelievable. And, they're not bad. They're still really, really good. But, last year Tennessee got inside the red zone 5 times and, struggled to score touchdowns. I don't think you'll see that problem this year. Everybody's talked about, Kirby Smart in Georgia, 1-9 since Kirby got to Georgia when the opponent scores 30+. Can Tennessee get to 30? I mean, Tennessee may get to 30 and still lose. But, this is a Georgia game that if I'm Tennessee, if I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm not scared of Georgia. And I don't think Tennessee fans are, because of the big three, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Tennessee's had more success and has been more competitive with Georgia the last 15 years than they have the other two.
What about recruiting, Price? I want the recruiting nuggets. Tennessee number 1 in the country. Who do you think that has really, really impact in terms of the recruits out there looking at Tennessee, waiting to see if Tennessee is in the right position or on the right path? I'm pretty sure they can see that Tennessee is, but who do you think that the number 1 ranking is affected the most?
Well, I think it's affecting the 24 class, the 25 class. I think that's where you're seeing the impact. A lot of the hay's in the barn in the 23 class. That's not to say that some players haven't reached out to Tennessee, because they have. T.J. Searcy, Florida commit, has reached out. Dan Ramil, Michigan State commit. Tennessee was a finalist for him back in the summertime. He's reached out. And there's at least been conversations. We'll see if those kids get to campus for maybe the Missouri game or sometime in December. But, yeah, I mean, Tennessee is a team that, is getting a lot of traction out there. You're going to see the impact more in 24, I believe, than you are in 23. But I do think there's the possibilities for some movement there in 23. And I think movement in the transfer portal, and I think that's something you won't be able to see for another month. Because I think, when kids go in, when some high-end kids go in the portal in December, do they go in and go, man, Tennessee just looked like that was so awesome. Look at the atmosphere at the Alabama game, the checkering at Florida, and so on and so forth, the black jerseys against Kentucky. I'm going to call Tennessee. Who picks up the phone and calls Tennessee and says, man, I just want to see what y'all are about, and I want to come for a visit? I don't think you'll see that for another month. So, a lot of momentum out there. I know it probably doesn't feel that way because of the 23 class, but what Tennessee's already gotten done in 24 with Mazeo Bennett and Caleb Beasley and Carson Gentle and Jonathan Eccles. It's really, really impressive, and I think you're only going to see that continue to build.
What percentage is Cedric Tillman?
I would say 95. I mean, last week he, maybe close to 100.
He looked pretty good.
Is close to 100, but I mean, so
he looked pretty good during warm-ups last week.
Yeah, I think he's fine. They were on snap count last week. Once Tennessee got the big lead at halftime, it was smart to shut him down. And they didn't use him. They used him a lot near the line of scrimmage this past week. I'll be interested to see if they release him down the field much against Georgia. I think that might have been by design. Plus everybody's expecting, those deep balls to go to Jalen Hyatt. If they kind of reverse when they stack and Jalen cuts his off and Cedric releases, is that, or if Jalen cuts it off and Cedric does a, stutter go, that catches Georgia napping, and all of a sudden, Ced's wide open the way Jalen has been. I think that's, something, a lot of different wrinkles I think Tennessee can throw at Georgia this week with their full complement of receivers.
Austin Price is with us, Volquest.com. He joins us thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, Tennessee will need how many points to beat Georgia on Saturday?
I'm going to say 35 to 38.
Okay.
I think if Tennessee gets to that number, I think there's a excellent chance that the Vols are coming home from Athens with a win. And if not, then it's been such a close game. I'm not sure they fall too far in the college football playoff rankings or, in the polls in general.
Yeah, do you think Tennessee being number one is a message from the committee of where Tennessee stands, even if it loses a competitive game at Georgia?
Yeah, again, I think they looked and they saw the, you can only base it off when a team plays a team, right? And they, teams may not be ranked now, but they were ranked then. And that LSU win looks better and better by the week. And so you've got those two nice wins against LSU and Alabama, one of which was on the road, one of which was at home. And, I think just overall body of work, the committee rewarded Tennessee. And, Tennessee with a close game this week, I think with a win this week, they'll be the number one team all the way through the all the way up until the SEC championship game, because I don't think anybody can pass them. Michigan beating Ohio State or Ohio State beating Michigan, to me, is not going to pass Tennessee up with Tennessee with wins over LSU, Bama, and Georgia. And again, I think Tennessee is playing this week for a locked-in spot in the college football playoff. The winner, to me, is locked in because the winner's not going to lose the last few weeks, which means the only loss they could potentially have would be the SEC championship game. And if you're undefeated going to Atlanta and you lose, you're still going to make the college football playoff, in my opinion.
Volquest.com. You can read Austin's work. Austin, we miss anything before we let you go, recruiting-wise or football on the field?
No, let's just give a big shout-out to the golf team, though. They had a great fall. They had two big wins. Caleb Surratt won an individual tournament, and they got their big golf fundraiser Friday at Tennessee National. And kudos to Coach Webb and company. If he came on your show, see, I come on for the Stone Cold music. He would come on as the Mountie since he's Canadian. He would have the Mounties music.
We'll have to make that happen
maybe the
sometime.
Quebecer.
Yeah. Austin, do you know why golfers take two pairs of pants out to the course?
Go ahead with your corny dad joke. Go.
In case they get a hole in one. Austin Price joins us every week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Design, and we hope that he'll come back again next week. Rick Terry Jewelry Design is making it unique, making it special, making it just for you. They want to be your jeweler at Rick Terry Jewelry Design. Volquest.com, that's where you can read Austin Price's work, his colleagues' work. Austin, safe travels. Thank you for the time and the insight, as always.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.